Hi, greetings. It's me, Dr. Paul Gerhardt, and today I want to talk about one of my favorite topics. It's diversity. And if you want to be a leader, especially in this global marketplace, you really have to understand what diversity really is and how to leverage the diversity of people around you. If you want to make sure that your organization stays strong and has its fair share of its market share, you really need to really understand what it is that you're in and how best to lead in this global marketplace. So in this video, I'm going to share some tips and some knowledge about what we're in these days and what leaders really should consider as they're making decisions in every day-to-day action. Let's face it, the United States is not the only country in the world, and we really need these days to really be able to understand the cultures of other countries in order to work well with them in this global marketplace. Every country has something to offer, and every person really has something to offer, but every person can't be everything to all types of organizations. Recognizing that the culture in the United States really is characterized by being individualistic, egalitarian, pragmatic, hardworking, action-oriented, data-based, and open to change. We need to recognize that when we're in a global marketplace, that not every culture shares these same values. And that's okay. We need to learn from history that sometimes we could make people fit into our own perception of how they need to be, but that's not the way that we could get the best out of them. The way that we get the best out of other people is to really understand people and respect people for who they are. I call it meeting people where they're at. People don't have to agree with you on everything, or shouldn't have to agree with everything that you say, because you're the leader. It's important that you have a clear vision and you help them accomplish organizational goals. That's why you've hired them. I get that. But if you really want to gain the most out of the people that are surrounding you, you really have to understand what it is that they have to offer and then help them by bringing out what they have to offer. And so you can do this, be a better cross-cultural leader by being patient, by being understanding, by you as a leader being willing to learn from them, and being flexible. And so the my way or the highway philosophy isn't one that's going to take organizations to the next level. Today's global leaders really need to be able to understand and be able to be flexible enough to be willing to incorporate new ideas to make organizational plans come to fruition. Does that make sense? And of course, that really takes cultural competency. It really is all about your awareness that people see things differently, and your willingness to investigate what other people believe and understand, and being able to take the right actions in alignment with that. So the more minds that you have involved in an organization, the greater potential for market share you can gain, in greater productivity and greater innovation if you manage it right. So 5 competencies that you should consider that are needed for cross-cultural leaders are: number 1, understanding business, political, and cultural environments worldwide. Number 2, knowing tastes, trends, and technologies of other cultures. Number 3, working simultaneously with people from many different countries. Number 4, adapting to living and traveling in foreign lands. And number 5, learning to relate to people from other cultures on the basis of equality and mutual respect. If you think because of your title you're better than other people, you're probably treating other people that way. And when you treat other people like you're better than them, you're probably not bringing out their best. So treating people as equals will help you gain more leadership power, because you'll have power to influence them because there'll be mutual understanding and trust. And then don't mess that up by violating that trust. Be a person of integrity and treat other human beings with genuine and mutual respect all the time. And you may find that ultimately that helps gain loyalty and helps make your organization and team even stronger. Of course, there are lots of cultural nuances in every region of the world. And if you were in Asia, for instance, you really need to understand that there are people that are treated with different levels of respect. And it's kind of an interesting phenomena, and it takes place in the United States too. But if you really want to be able to work within their systems, which you should do, you need to recognize that it's appropriate to find highly respected third-party people to act as an introducer to lower-ranking people. And it's important not to attempt to get a deal going by approaching a target who is below the top level of the organization. So really, you can't expect punctuality, for instance. Make sure that when you're writing to people, that if someone is speaking another language, that you're using impeccable language with them. So that means have an interpreter do it for you that's fluent in that language. Or you could write in your own business English, and they can have an interpreter do it. So that really is important to understand. You don't want to insult other people by what you do. And then so there are even different nuances that we have with body language, like the sign for okay that we use in other cultures that is actually considered vulgar, sexual innuendos, and that's of course not appropriate in the workplace. So being able to understand what's expected in other cultures and what's appropriate and not appropriate really takes studying, and that way you become more culturally competent. Basically, what you need to know is there are essentially 10 different distinct cultural clusters that you could study to really learn to understand better. And those include Anglo, Latin Europe, Nordic Europe, Germanic Europe, Eastern Europe, Latin America, Middle East, Sub-Saharan Africa, Southern Asia, and then Confucian Asia. And so these are cultural clusters that anthropologists have put together to help us better understand, how to be able to gauge the different cultural nuances that would be appropriate to apply as you're interacting with other people. When there's mutual understanding, you're showing people respect. And that's the most important thing, is you can't expect people to have you do things your way if you really want to learn the best out of them. And that's called the Platinum Rule. Treat others as they wish to be treated. Simple rule. If you are on the treat other people as you want to be treated, that works sometimes if they have the same cultural values as you, but you may be insulting to other people if you expect them to operate on your terms. So it really is best. You have the power to be flexible, to understand where they're coming from, and then adjust appropriately because you're showing respect to them. And in turn, generally speaking, they'll probably want to do the same with you. So it takes giving respect, of course, to get respect. If you want to be an outstanding leader, this is universal. Always be trustworthy. You have to give trust to get trust, and you can't violate that trust. Be intelligent and have the right skills, and then be able to motivate people appropriately. Again, on the other side, if you want to be a bad leader, be dishonest, be incompetent, be egocentric. Those are characteristics universally that people truly will not appreciate. So do the right thing at all times. Know that having integrity and being trustworthy and being smart really is important. When you're managing diversity, you have to deal with people's differences. And that means create trust and build mutual respect. Really find ways to gain the benefit from people's differences. It's okay to be different. Find a way to maximize what other people have to offer in their way of being. That takes a smart leader. The more you know about different cultures, really, the more successful you will be. So there's lots of information on the internet. There's lots of resources for you to be able to really understand the cultural nuances of the people that you could be doing business with, including the people that you should be hiring in your workplace if you're going to be working in a global environment. If you want to have an enlightened workplace, you really have to be thinking about the us. It's not about the me. It's a philosophy of pluralism. Eliminate anything that could be seen as being discriminatory. And discriminatory excludes people. You want to be inclusive of all the people around you. That means create an environment where everybody feels like they're welcome to contribute. People truly should believe, genuinely so in their heart of hearts, that they're accepted, they're respected, and their voices truly are heard and truly valued. Treat all people with respect and dignity. Model and reinforce being a democratic person and take a humanistic approach. Every person matters. Every person's voice matters. Every person's action matters. Valuing diversity is a philosophy that starts in your heart, that people matter, and you recognize that treating people with dignity and respect will help them want to be an amazing, viable part of your organization that contributes in a positive way that makes the organization stronger and stronger. Do the opposite, and you have employees with one foot out the door. You have employees who sabotage their own success and the success of your organization. Everybody needs to truly feel like they are in an organization that they want to be a part of contributing to, right? Create that environment. Simple stuff. Some important practices for maximizing diversity is very top-down. Top leaders really must understand that diversity is important. Target your recruitment to hire people of diverse backgrounds. Have an open mind about what that looks like. Really create organizational teams that advocate for leveraging diversity and really maximizing what people have to offer. Have an emphasis on equal employment opportunity statistics. Be aware of what that looks like in your organization. And then be inclusive. Promote diversity ideas and diversity decisions. Make sure that when you're creating promotions that it includes diversity so people can see themselves in the pictures and media as others that look like them so they can relate to that. That's important. Make sure there's diversity in your management team and that you have succession plans that help continue to feed diversity into your teams. Make sure you've got proper training for diversity. Create networks and support groups that support diversity. And make sure that you understand family is important to people of all people. And so try to find ways to support people's cultural needs and family needs in respect with diversity. Let's face it, diversity has many, many benefits to organizations. It increases workforce creativity. It gives you a broader range of knowledge and skills. Better decisions can be made when you have more perspectives that are allowed to be heard. There are more resources that could be provided to diverse populations when needs are understood. And being able to recruit people from all different lands and regions helps you create a more diverse work pool where you have even better talent that's available. So think globally when hiring if you want to create a powerful global environment and lead an organization that can get their foot in the door in a successful global market. Some strategies for individuals: really understand and connect with your own personal value, your own personal culture. Think about how it feels to be different. I think we all have been in a situation where we've been treated differently. So learning how to respect people and being inclusive helps us be more empathetic to people's situation and really genuinely respecting what people have to offer. Try to understand each person as an individual. Just because someone looks like someone you knew, they are two different people. So don't put people in a box. Participate in educational programs. Where we put our focus, that's where we get our results. We need refreshers. We need new insights. So hopefully if you're a leader, you recognize the value of inviting diversity trainers into your program to create diversity awareness. Make a list of heroes. Really help people see the value of people from all diverse backgrounds and how they can accomplish great success. And find ways to really value people of all ages in your organizations and people with all kinds of impairments, people who are differently abled. So respect is what diversity really is all about, and it's about having in mind we all need to feel like we're in an equitable situation. So it starts with you. You really have to understand your thoughts. You need to listen to your language. What are you saying to other people? How is that being perceived by other people? Are you really respecting different types of social conversations, and are you including people from other different cultures in your conversations and just genuinely listening to understand where they're coming from? Keep an open mind in how you feel. If you are in a reverse situation where you are the outsider, or you're the one from a different culture, and that helps you be more empathetic to people's situations. One of the most powerful tools we could have as leaders. Do your best to make sure you're hiring people from different backgrounds and including them in decision making and problem solving processes. Do increase where you where you accept applications from people from different backgrounds. Do make sure that you are putting people of diverse backgrounds in responsible positions. Always show sensitivity in the work environment, and make sure that you support groups that really help address diversity issues. You can't just implement policies without having the right training and support in place. A lot of organizations hire people of diverse backgrounds, but because they don't manage it well, they leave. And you don't want that. You want everybody to feel like they truly are a valued member, lifetime member of your organization, because that keeps the knowledge and wisdom and skills and talent in your organization instead of making other organizations stronger by you paying to hire and train people and then lose them to make your competition stronger. Make sure you've got constant training in the workplace. Pay attention to public company publications. Do you see people of diverse backgrounds being highlighted in there? Evaluate rules, policies, procedures, making sure everybody is treated equitably and at least equally. Make sure that you're developing mentoring and partner programs. Talk about diversity issues. Respect all points of view and work cooperatively. Diversity is not just about color of skin, gender, or how much hair you have. There's a lot of different ways to look at diversity. Sometimes it's about interest in what we read. Sometimes it's about personal mottos, the food we choose, your job, your profession, your birthplace, your birth order, people who've influenced you, your friends, goals, music, art, skills, talent, where you attended high school, military experience. A lot of different things make us diverse. And everybody's unique backgrounds has different benefits to offer an organization if properly managed, right? Some things about today's workplace are much different than yesterday's workplace. If you even look at gender, there's a lot of literature that's come out on gender. Today, Women make up 46.9% of the workplace. They're a valuable contributor to today's society, where that had changed in the United States from many years ago. And so we need to be able to make sure that people of both genders truly feel like they're understood and utilized. You know, there are some similarities and some differences, but recognizing people as individuals is really important. You can't have yesterday's mindset in today's workplace if you really want to maximize what people have to offer. So some of the gender literature says that men use conversations to negotiate status. Again, that some men do that and some don't. Women are said to talk to create rapport, and I think in that case that's true for some and some are not. And so again, you can't put any person based on gender in any particular box. You just have to recognize that there may be some cultural nuances, but you can't assume. So you have to get to know people, and you really have to learn to respect where people are at and try to leverage what they have to offer. So historically, women have not been in top leadership positions in organizations, and we're starting to see that change, and that's wonderful, because that means other women in top leadership positions, which means that they are going to want to continue to grow because they see that it's possible. So if you have an organization that has only men in your leadership positions, you're probably limiting the potential of what your organization has to offer. So these days, it really is important to take a look at the changes that are happening. Some statistics from a few years ago show that about 14% of women are now corporate officers, and about 40% of small business owners these days are women. And so you have to keep in mind that there are almost exactly the same amount of women and men alive on the face of this earth. So we're getting better at being able to recognize that gender is important, and we need to respect people for who they are and what they have to offer, and help everybody, no matter of their diversity, be the best that they can be. And that's going to help build your network and build trust for generally respecting people for who they are without putting people in a box. Some factors that we're seeing take place with women these days that you should be aware of if you've got the mindset that women can't lead. And again, I'm quoting the literature, is we are finding that successful leaders, women leaders, have gotten help from above. It's really important. One of the most impressive people that I met, she was the director of DSHS here in Washington State, African American female. And she grew her career step by step by step, but people saw her potential from above and helped her, in her own words, get a hand up. And that's the right thing to do. If you see talented people in your organization, help them grow their careers. Give them what they need to be successful. Women these days, according to the literature, will see that they've got the toughness in their own ways. They've got courage. They've got outstanding people skills and passion for success. So again, this is what the leaders are showing have helped them grow their careers. So everybody these days needs to really be respected for who they are, no matter what their gender is, and they deserve an opportunity to be treated as individuals with the kind of respect that they need. So you got to get to know people to understand where their strengths are, so that you can help make the most of what people have to offer. Meet people where they are. So it really is important to recognize that if your organization has what they call the glass ceiling, you're probably limiting the potential of your organization. Do away with it. Hire the best, most talented people that you can, and try to be aware of biases that could be making you think that someone can't offer something they can because of whatever their diversity is, whether it be gender or ethnicity or sexual orientation or culture, whatever that background is. Be aware of your biases, because your biases are what will hold you back. How you see things affects what you do, which will affect your outcomes, as you've probably heard me say before. So really find ways to make sure you don't have double standards, that you are finding ways to generally create a corporate culture that helps people be who they are and be respected for who they are. Be aware of your internal biases. Upbuild everybody, no matter of their background, including older people and younger people. If you've got a bias against people who are older than you, or a bias against people who are younger than you, you're probably going to miss out on what they have to offer. Just because they see things differently because of the generation in which they've grown up with, it doesn't mean that they don't have valuable things that they can offer to your team to make it stronger. Excuse me. So, again, make sure that if you're going to be a global leader in today's workplace, that you find ways to empower others, develop others, truly value the diversity of what each individual has to bring. And this is all facilitated in the way you're communicating with other people. Being open, non-judgmental, and truly inquisitive, respectful. These are the approaches that are going to help you bring together others and unite them to help leverage the diversity that makes your team as strong as it can be. Embrace differences and truly learn to understand what other people have to offer and their perspectives. That's what I have for you today on really leading global organizations, or organizations of any type, with diversity in mind. Thanks so much for your valuable time. I hope I've given you some insights that you could take away and use today to create a life that you truly love. And more than anything else, I hope that you have a great day, because only you get to choose how you feel about it. I'm Dr. Paul Gerhardt.